Let's talk about lifetimes, about reincarnation, past lives, future lives, present lives. Actually, I think it was Einstein who looked at timelines as overlapping. So, not like linear, like humans think from like 10 to 20 kind of a thing, but just all happening at the same time. So, whether you see them as all at once or one at a time in a row, let's talk about them. Personally, I look at lifetimes like school. Your soul chooses to go to Earth school. This happens for experiences, for maturity, for development, for growth. If you want to get really deep into it, there are actually lessons that every soul will experience during some lifetime or lifetimes. Now, every time you come to Earth School, you come in with a plan that you've written and you have participated in selecting other souls to be on this plan with you. They kind of link the lessons together with theirs and yours. There's also blessings, and blessings can be very benevolent, things that just naturally happen for you. And they're also the skill set or the knowledge that you bring with you here, whether you remember it initially or not. Now, there's a whole other conversation about who signs up for the lifetimes with you, but that's another very deep conversation, and it'll take a lot longer to do a video. So for today, let's just suffice it to say that you come into life with characters here to play the game with you, okay? They're here in Earth School with you to learn and grow and receive blessings and lessons along the way. And you've agreed to have that dynamic with them. And yes, some of them are souls that you were related to, soul family, and some are not. And you will have lifetimes, whether now or in the past or in the future, with both of those. So you will have that overlap of past life experiences with those who are soulmates, like part of your soul family, and also those who are not. But through every lifetime, you have purpose. You have purpose for yourself and with others. Some call this service, and that's where we get that narrative of the meaning of life is to serve others. That's where that's coming from, and it's partly true because you are here for your own growth. And at the end of this life, you are only responsible for your own growth. Did you show up the way you intended to the best of your ability in all of the experiences, the lessons and the blessings? And you assess that. Now, do you have help? Yeah, I believe you also have help looking over these things at the end of this life or sometimes beforehand if you engage in that kind of spiritual depth and discovery of yourself. But you'll look over the lessons to decide, did I learn what I needed to learn, what I chose to experience? Did it bring to me what I intended it to? So now I understand myself as more mature, wiser, etc., more developed, more evolved, more enlightened. Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't also remind you or tell you that you will have experiences that overlap, just like people overlap. So if you come into a lifetime with a natural skill or gift, say someone who can play the piano at 3 years old, they didn't learn that this lifetime. They learned that before and they brought the skill with them. This goes for fears and phobias as well. Birthmarks, things of that nature can come from past lives into this one. But one of the biggest messages that I'd like to leave in this video, especially if you stuck around for 3 minutes, is that they matter when they matter and they don't matter when they don't matter. And what I mean by this is you don't necessarily need to remember clearly learning to read when you were 4, 5, 6, 7 years old. You don't need to remember every moment of sitting with a teacher or a parent and learning to read. The people who remember the specifics of learning to read are people who either had very big positive experiences that impacted them in a way that they carried forward to use to serve others, or those who had big struggles and difficulties either around learning to read or in their life at that time. They're likely to have a fixation, if you will, or a focus on learning to read because of that. So then it will matter later. So for instance, if you struggled to learn to read or you lost someone close to you when you were learning to read, later in your life, you will have experiences that trigger you where you'll remember those early experiences of reading and it will carry over into later grades, right? So if you didn't learn to read well in kindergarten, first, second grade, and now you're in college and you didn't at some point pick up those skills, but now you're in college, there are moments where you'll be triggered, where you're like, oh, I didn't learn to read very well, and now it's making life harder. I need to get good at this. I need to take extra classes. I need to get a tutor. I need to learn workarounds for it. And this is what happens in lifetimes as well. If there was something that triggered it, then you're going to be pushed to work on it now because it's coming up as part of your life plan that I mentioned in this lifetime now to be resolved. And the same thing goes for the positive ones. If you had a very positive experience where you were very gifted and skilled at something in a past life, and you are meant to use it to serve others in this lifetime, it will have that same intensity for you, where you feel driven almost to use it for yourself, but also in the world around you. So it's okay if you don't remember your past lives, because they're there whether you remember them or not, unless this is your first time on Earth, which does happen, but not as frequently, at least not with the people I tend to work with. People I tend to work with, it's usually that they're old souls. That's the way it is. They've been here a very long time. They've done this before, and this is a process of remembering the purpose and the mission. So if you find yourself saying, I'm not learning things, especially on the spiritual side of things, I'm not learning spirituality, intuition, tarot cards, sound healing, whatever this deep information is, I'm not learning it. I'm remembering it. If that resonates with you, then you've done it before. We probably have some sort of link somewhere in the past, okay? But anyways, I hope this helps, and I'd like you to remember this last piece, okay? The process of being is an evolution of your soul. If it gets tough or hard for you and you're struggling, remember that. The process of being is an evolution of your soul.